What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. As you all know, this week we have received a huge patch introducing the new character Black Adam. And with that comes patch notes. A lot of characters have been buffed, a lot of characters have been nerfed. And with that, I wanted to make an updated tier list. So let's hop right into it. Okay, let's get it started. We'll start off with the S tier, and there is absolutely no question who belongs here. That's Arya Stark. If you played any time in the past month, you know 1v1's queue has been filled with her. Even after they patched out her up special into True Dagger combo and her loop, she is still just a true menace. There's not many true cons to this character. There's not many bad matchups. The only thing is she's a little bit slow and a little bit light. Next up, you got Finn. I still believe he's in the S tier this patch. He's got a lot of good utility. His kit's really well, and he's a good rushdown character. A lot of his true combos can take you from 0 to 60 with ease, and he's easily got one of the best dares in the game. If you get caught on the edge of any stage, you're probably dead because he can dodge cancel out of his dare, hit you with 2 of those, and you can wish that stock goodbye. With this meta changing, I think rushdown characters are really going to be the pick. He can punish a lot of matchups very well. Even if they're quote unquote a bad matchup, I still think Finn has most of the cast at a 50-50 or even a 60-40 matchup. Next up in the S tier, you got Jake. Jake is easily one of the best characters in the game. He's very, very heavy. His recovery game is insane. He can stall you out for literally a solid 30 seconds with his nair and up air. He can go off stage and just sit there and you cannot do anything about it, because if you do, you're just going to get sad aired and you're going to die. He has a lot of true Gimp potential. If you get caught on a lot of stages like Cromulons, if he bites you and sends you off stage, you can't really do anything about it because his side air is so versatile, and if he reads you, there's not much you can do. Against a lot of projectile characters, he pretty much nullifies them out because of his house. And if in the right hands, Jake is just one of the best characters. Last and definitely not least, in the S tier, you got Batman. Batman has one of the best, if not the best, neutral games in the game right now. He has so much utility to rush you down with and keep you in the air. If you run away, he's going to chase you down with a batarang. He's got smoke for speed boost, and he's a really good aerial character. He can take away a lot of your options and beat out a lot of characters just based off his up air alone. He's got a very good dare, and especially he's super fast. With the 5 times weaken stack he gets, and a lot of his moves even apply 1 weakness, he's really strong in that aspect alone. Okay, we can get started off with the A tier. And started off, I think we got Shaggy in A tier. Only reason he's not S tier, I feel like after they patched his sandwich, and if you use it, your rage gets taken away, I think that kicks him out of S tier. And a lot of the S tier characters are very, very bad matchups for Shaggy. For instance, Batman as Shaggy is very, very difficult to do. But even then, I feel like he's a very strong pick, because if you have rage, he can kill a lot of characters at ridiculously low amounts of HP. The only reason I think he's also not S tier is because a lot of his combos are very DI-able out of. So if you're going to main Shaggy, you have to be able to read DI. But even then, he's got one of the best dares in the game, and a lot of his combos can take you off stage with ease. And then he just punishes you with a dare. You can wish that stock goodbye. And next up in the A tier, you got Wonder Woman. Even though she's a very basic character, I feel like she is a very strong pick. She has excellent speed, very tanky. The only thing she's truly lacking is sometimes kill potential. There's been sometimes when I play Wonder Woman that you can get an opponent up to like 150, 160 health, and the only thing that's truly consistently killing is a down air. Only thing that's really changed about her is her double up tilt. I feel like that's killed a lot of her early kill potentials. But besides that, if you really master her, you can really rush down a lot of people and keep them in the combo game very easily. Next up in A tier, you got Harley. Even after the attack decay changes, I still think she's a very strong pick. It did really affect her with those attack decay changes though. But even with her combos, if you get caught in a side air, you're going up to 60 HP. She does have very strong stage control sometimes with her Jack in the Box and her bomb. I feel like the only thing she's really lacking is that she's light, but she is an assassin, so it's expected. but I still think she's a very good all-around simple character to play. She's very fun, and she definitely has one of the best up specials in the game. That thing can kill very, very early if you get caught in it. Next up on the list, you got Superman. I still feel like he's an A tier. He's a very good character. He's very tanky and very quick somehow. Against projectile characters, they're pretty much useless against him. He just calls in Frostbite. Projectiles are nullified. If you get caught in one of his combos, it's looking grim for you. His stage control, once he gets you in a combo, is very hard to get out of. If he throws you off stage with a sniper punch, all he has to do is nair you out into the blast zone, and you have nothing you can do against it because it is very hard to recover from. Because you can recover high, low, whatever you choose. He's just gonna nair you. Next up on the list, you got my main man, Mortavius, Morty C137. He's a very fun pick. He's very strong, and I feel like right now on the ones, he has potential to become one of the best characters. Twos right now, he's killing it. His zone and stage control is top tier. Down air, very, very good. The only issue with him is true con. If you're playing against an opponent that outzones you and plays a little bit patient, waits for your kit to go on cooldown, you don't have much. You really only have your jab, your down air, but besides that, you're relying on your projectiles. Next on the list, and I think he's the final person to go into A tier, it's going to be LeBron Jameson. Very strong right now on the ones. Twos, S tier, easily. Only issue right now, he's a little bit buggy. With the recent patch, a lot of his moves have been launching forward instead of upwards, but that's no biggie. He's still very strong. Only issue, a little bit slow, but his combo game, immaculate. Zoning capabilities, easily one of the best besides Morty at the time being. And I still feel like he's a very strong character. He does have some issues without his ball. Pretty much if he doesn't have a ball in his hands, what is he going to do? He has his nair, and it's meh, but even then, you can just get another ball. Alright, we can get started off with the B tier. And I know this is going to be controversial, but I think my main man Gizmo belongs in this tier. A lot of people think he's weak. And I mean, sometimes he can be if you don't know how to use him. But I've been playing against a man known as Grim. He will make you lose your mind with the way he plays Gizmo. Play against someone who's slow, patient, sits behind popcorn, and zones you out, you are not going to have a fun time. He has some crazy combos that can kill at 70 HP. The ladders he can do are crazy. But besides that, he's lackluster in kill potential, a little bit slow, and he doesn't have much besides popcorn. And if you get rushed down by a character that can break popcorn like Wonder Woman, you don't have much. Alright. Most controversial character of last patch. Good old Stripe. They tried gutting him. And personally, I was a Stripe main before this patch, and I have switched off. He has very good edge guarding potential, but I feel like after they gutted his gunshots, I feel like a lot of his capability has been toned down a lot. He used to be S tier, he dropped down to B tier in my opinion. He does have really good kill potential if you have 3 gunshots. You can sit there and edge guard, keep someone in the air forever if you wanted to with those gunshots. But now, besides that, he's still very finicky at the time being. In twos, he can rack up your damage, but in ones right now, I feel like I haven't had many issues against him. I feel like he's dropped down a lot. Next up on the list, we got the big man, Iron Giant. Still think he's in a B tier. I've played a lot against Iron Giants. They all go for this. They all play the same. Sit and wait around for bolts. They're not doing. If they don't have bolts, they're not going to play against you. And if they do have bolts and you go against them, they're just going to grab you, try and throw you off stage. But I feel like now, after they reduced the grab cooldown, I think it was grab cooldown. He's gotten a little bit weaker. I mean, I played against some of the best Iron Giants, including Z Inside Out, and I just don't think he's as strong as he used to be. Don't get me wrong, in twos, he's still one of the best. But ones, I feel like he's a little bit lackluster unless you go for some cheese. Besides that, Iron Giant's Iron Giant. He's always going to be hard and annoying to play against just because of how he plays. But alright, we got PFG's main character. We got the dog, Rain Dog. I feel like he's sitting at a relatively weaker standpoint compared to last patch. They took out his loop. They mess with his dare now, so it doesn't launch upwards now. It sort of launches horizontally now, reducing his kill power. He does have a lot of zone control, a lot of projectiles. They did take out his little edge guarding trick of meteor guarding, as they called it. But I still think he's a fun character. I still think in the right hands, like Flying Panther, he's doing wonderful with them. Same with Retro Wolf. I still think in the right hands, he's still going to be strong. But I still think he gets outbeat by a lot of characters like Wonder Woman, Jake. Then they can all beat him with pretty much ease now. All right, Black Adam time. The Rock. I personally think at the time being, since he's only been out for a few days, I think he is going to sit B tier with potential to go to A tier. A lot of his moves are buggy. You do his jab into grab combo, a lot of the times you'll be facing the wrong way and you can't string it into much. But he can get some early gimps with his fair into his down special. I think he's a really fun character, again, especially against like people like Tom and Jerry, a lot of projectile characters. He beats them with ease. He has a lot of potential, I believe. He's very heavy, and I feel like as soon as people start to get his combos figured out and what really leads into that killing blow, like he's got a Kamehameha, bruh. If you can figure out how to use that and get someone into that state, it kills very early. Next up on the list, you got T&J. This man has done the complete journey through tier lists, going from one of the strongest ones characters down to one of the worst. Now he's sitting at a healthy medium in like the B tier. I feel like even with the buff to Jerry's HP, they reverted a few things. They buffed him by like 1 HP. A lot of characters can't win it, kill him anymore. The only person off the top of my head I can think of is Black Adam with his barrier thing. I don't know what to call that. I don't know Black Adam's move list off the top of my head. But I feel like even now, he's not the strongest. He does have some really good zoning projectiles. Does have that cheesy missile that can kill you at 90. If you get hit by that, you're gone. You're donezo. That thing kills even the heaviest characters like Shaggy and Superman. But even then, I feel like he's a little bit lackluster at the time being. He's got a really good down air. But even then, I feel like he's not at his strongest suit. And I feel like he can, once people start to pick him up again, figure him out, I feel like he can move up to A tier potentially. Next up on the list, we got good old Bugs. Still feel like he's in B tier. He was definitely in S tier, A tier last patch, but actually, for this patch, his Nair got sort of shadow fixed. It wasn't in the patch notes. Now when you do his Nair, his little spinny thing, cannot be cancelled out of now. So you can't string it into his infinite anymore. So a lot of his moves can be cancelled out of. He still does have some great potential, but I feel like without that loop, I still feel like he's a pretty weak character all around compared to the rest of the cast. Don't get me wrong, he's still fun. He can still get some crazy, crazy combos. He still has one of the best up airs in the game. Best up specials. His rocket's crazy. His bat's crazy. But besides that, he's good. But with these patches, he's definitely dropped down a lot. Alright, next on the list. Got good old Pickle Rick. I feel like after, I think it was this patch. I can't remember if it was this patch or the last patch. His blaster got nerfed. Now you got cooldowns on it. Can't just sit there and spam it. Run away the whole time. I feel like he's got very heavy game potential still. Still, in the right hands, he can do work. But I feel like without that oppressive blaster on constant stage control, I don't feel like he's doing the same he used to do. Does that have one of the best up airs in the game still? Not up airs, up specials. That thing will spike you. One of the best side airs in the game still. He's still very hard to figure out sometimes, depending on how the people play him. Got a lot of projectiles, can kill pretty early depending on if you get lucky, but I feel like he's missing something. I don't know what it is. The up air is sort of meh. Kit, once you use it all and it runs on cooldown, you don't have much except the side air. Controversial. A lot of people consider her to be one of the worst characters in the game, but played a few good Garnets, and they are scary. There's some scary people. You got one of the best projectiles in the game. That rocket is crazy. Essentially, the best bat is a better version of Batarang. She's got some crazy combos. Once you figure it out, she's definitely one of the harder characters to learn. But that jab cancel, her T pose, I think it's her up special. I don't know off the top of my head. A lot of her moves are hard to read because not a lot of people play her. But I feel like she's definitely moving her way up in the tier list with these patches. She could use a little bit of work. I don't know how. She's just missing something. She definitely has struggles if she gets caught in that jab against people like Shaggy, Finn, Jake, anybody with a good down air, she's struggling against. All right, let's start off the C tier, and I know this is going to sound controversial. I feel like Taz, at the time being in this meta, he belongs in C tier. He's sort of on the edge of being low B, high C. I just feel like this character is not the strongest anymore. He's never been S tier. He's been maybe A tier, but like even then, he doesn't have a lot of options. He has his Nair to open and his Apple. Besides that, he doesn't have many options. His combo game is a little bit weird. He's missing a lot. The only strong suit I will say to this character, he can get some crazy gimps. Man is Edgeguard King. I think he has one of the best edge guards in the game. He can down spike you, tornado, dogpile. Only problem with him, he's very, very readable. All Taz players play the same. And I've noticed around the community, a lot of Taz mains have been switching off this character because he's so lackluster now. All right, and next up, we got good old Steven Jim Universe. I've never really fought a Steven that's crazy. I can only really think of two off the top of my head, and that's Techie and Light Wisp. And one's, he's very weak. I feel like a lot of his kit is definitely revolved around the twos playstyle, his shield, platforms, all the things he can do. Only thing he can really do now is Nair. Gets you up to 60, tries going for an early kill with his up special. But besides that, he's a very readable character. I don't feel like he's missing a lot of options in ones compared to these other characters. Like, if he were to go against a Jake, there's not much he can really do. He doesn't have a lot of rebuttals to these characters. Twos, he's killing it. Twos, he's definitely A tier. I don't know if he's S tier. I don't really play twos all that often, but ones, there's not really any scary Stevens. Next on the list, we have Velma. Potentially one of the best twos character. Ones, their own hell. The ones player, I've never really fought a strong Velma in my life. I feel like her kit is strictly built around twos. Only thing she really has is running away, throwing projectiles. Throw on School Me once, rush her down once her kit's on cooldown. She doesn't have much. Only thing she can really do is her down air, up special combo, the camera loop. But even then, once you get a tactical on that, what do you have? I feel like a lot of these characters in the cast can just rush her down, and she just has nothing she can really, really do against them besides run. You can get lucky sometimes with her down spike, but besides that, she doesn't have much going for her. I feel like if she got a little bit stronger on like her side air or something like that, she has potential. Or I don't know. I don't know what can be done about her to help her on the ones because she's definitely, I feel like she's strictly a twos character. That is going to do it for my ones tier list. I know a lot of these opinions can be controversial, but they are strictly opinion based, and I want you to know that. If you have any opinions on where you'd like to move characters or where you feel like they belong, let me know in the comments. But as a top 100 player, I am taking this into consideration. That I've played against a lot of players that have put a lot of time in their mains, like thousands, if not 3,000 matches. Like, I've played against people with 5,000 matches on a main. Level 40s, they're crazy. Like, I've played against Swerve, J Mafia, Jesus, Key 1DR, Esmo, Minty Hippo. A lot of these top players like Zoo, they're crazy on these characters. And I'm taking that into consideration with these matchups, how the matchups fare out for these characters, and what the top play looks like. If you have anything else you'd like to let me know, any other sorts of tier lists or multiverses, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this.